latest on what's happening in Tunisia. The President Ben Ali has stepped down.
I've understood your message.
So this was Tunisia in 2011, a country shut in 23 years of dictatorship in a peaceful revolution that not only toppled President Zain al-Abidine, but also ignited the Arab Spring, the most prominent event of the decade, which altered the region's future to this day. Now, Tunisia had been mostly, and I repeat, mostly democratic for the past decade. The people there were experimenting with the newly acquired political freedom brought by the revolution. They elected 3 presidents, selected 9 prime ministers, and wrote a new constitution that, for all practical purposes, reflected the people's will. But this all changed in 2021, because that's the year President Qais Said performed what you can call a power grab. He sacked the government, dissolved the parliament, and enforced another constitution that superseded the previous one. You may wonder how Tunisia became this autocratic country in a very short time. That's a long story. Tunisian politics has become an entirely different beast in the past couple of years. This is why we'll only focus on what's happening right now and maybe try to figure out where it's going from there. Starting with the drought. Tunisians have been trudging through their worst drought on record for the past 4 years. A catastrophe so severe that the Ministry of Agriculture had to introduce a quota system for drinking water that cuts it off daily for 7 hours across the country. The use of drinking water was even banned in agriculture. Of course, these decisions will have tremendous repercussions, the toughest of which, in my opinion, is Tunisia's grain harvest this year. An official from the Senior Farmers Union predicts it will be disastrous, declining to almost 200,000 tons from 750,000 tons last year. The drought, coupled with a 10.3% inflation rate in March this year, the highest level in 4 decades, in addition to an unemployment rate of 15.2% in the fourth quarter of last year, and public debt exceeding 100% of GDP. All of these factors have led to a severe economic meltdown that prompted the government to sign an agreement with the International Monetary Fund for a $1.9 billion bailout program in October last year. However, it's not that easy to actually receive the money. The package is dependent on the government's willingness to apply difficult and somehow politically sensitive reforms, including spending cuts, the restructuring of public companies, and cuts to energy and food subsidies. These reforms have disrupted the local economy and angered the public, especially the most organized and active player in Tunisian politics, the General Labor Union, which led protests and strikes against the agreement. The president eventually gave in and rejected the package altogether in April, calling the IMF's prerequisites dictats. However, even some government members have made it clear there was no other way, no alternative to the fund's loan. Without the loan, Tunisia's economy could be in jeopardy. The country suffers from a solvency crisis, which basically means that even if Tunisia sells all of its assets to pay off its debt, it can't, because the amount of debt it has is much higher than the value of its assets. This could lead to a full-blown balance of payments crisis. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni knows this. She warned in late March that a massive migration wave from North Africa might reach Europe's borders if Tunisia's financial stability was not preserved. Her foreign minister Antonio Tajani put the number in the tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of boat migrants. Speaking of migration, the president told security forces to expel all illegal migrants in February, calling migration a conspiracy to change Tunisia's demographics by making it more African and less Arab. Yes, the president of Tunisia induced racially motivated violence against black Africans, because let's be clear, Tunisia is African. It's just on the white side of the continent. Following the remarks by the president, the ball started rolling and we could see things like this. The police detained migrants and landlords evicted Africans from their homes. Rights groups said they had recorded incidents in which migrants were attacked by gangs of young people in their neighborhoods, and the police were slow to respond. Some brave Tunisians, however, showed solidarity with African migrants and protested the racism inflicted on them. All of these events raise concerns over the present and the future of the home of the Arab Spring, especially after the regression in the country's politics, which isn't helping in engaging with any of the crises nesting in other core areas of the state. One event in particular worries many Tunisians for the future of their country, and that is the inexplicable disappearance of the president for almost 2 weeks between March 22 and April 3. The president reappeared and started accusing the opposition of wanting to create crisis after crisis, but he didn't give any explanation for his disappearance. Former Tunisian Foreign Minister Rafiq Abdessalam claimed in a tweet that the president had been secretly lying in a military hospital, adding fuel to the concerns surrounding the president's health, which is of equal importance to those who support him and those who don't, because basically he holds all political powers in his hands, and his sudden death would break the gates of hell wide open. And with that, our video comes to an end. Thank you so much for watching, and if this video helped you understand the situation in Tunisia better, please hit the subscribe button for more videos like this in the future, and let me know in the comments what you think about the Tunisian case and what the potential solutions could be. Until next time.